Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, season 13, episodes 9 to 11. I'm sorry, it was family day weekend. We had to spend time with our family, okay? So before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, hype up the video, and leave a comment down below. So we're gonna start with the aftermath of the red flag, green flag, evening thing. So everybody but Gia is upset at how Brooke was treating the other women, rightfully so. Brooke herself does not regret how she carried herself, which is interesting because a lot has been happening with Brooke, and it seems she's not too happy about how she's perceived on the show. Nobody forced you to say and do these things. Even on the show, you're acting like you don't regret what you said and did. So yeah. Anyways, the guys are debriefing the women about how Steve was acting, and Steve, in front of Rebecca, is acting like there's nothing wrong.
Well, green flag, I mean, do you want me to tell you what they were? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
But as I said to them, I think we just have to get used to each other. So, but green flags were, you're warm, you're caring, you can list more than 3. That's easy.
Did you tell Rebecca about the red flags?
I'm trying to think if I told Rebecca about the red flags. I don't know if I specifically touched on them specifically.
Oh, so now you got some green flags. Now you have things that you want to mention, when the night before you were like, oh, there's just so many. Let me tell you about all the things that are wrong with this woman. Now you have nice things to say. Wow. He's then going to act purposefully obtuse and act like he doesn't recall if he told her any of the red flags. You know you didn't tell her any of the red flags. You went on for 40 days and nights about all the things that you hate about Rebecca, and now you don't recall if you told her even one thing? Steve, be so for real. Moving on to the commitment ceremony, first on the couch is Mel and Luke, and the experts accurately called out Mel's juvenile behavior.
There was really 2 Mels in the room. You were full of energy. As soon as you were placed next to Luke, a spark had gone out, which was hard for us to watch.
I thought that Luke had feelings for me, and because I wasn't feeling the same, I just wanted to push him away. The thing is, I shouldn't have been mean about it.
You need a wake-up call. Maths isn't about fairy tales. You didn't feel the initial spark at the altar, and you've shut him down. And you've essentially done the very thing that's keeping you single.
Mel's facial expressions quite literally give me a visceral reaction. I feel ill when I see her, like, ugh, stop. It pisses me off. And then her little, I didn't do anything wrong voice. I can't. I hate it when somebody acts like the victim when they are clearly the one perpetrating the issues going on. So she's trying to act like Luke is so hard to get along with, but you have been difficult to get along with. And don't get me wrong, it's not as if Luke has presented himself as somebody who's exciting to get to know. He has been sulking. He has been. But it's because of how she has been acting as well. She's not helping the matter at all. She couldn't even give one example of how she has tried. She makes it seem like she's the one who's putting in the effort, but when given a chance to say what the effort was, nothing. We hear nothing from the girl. And I'm thinking, you could have at least faked like you tried. Because you guys remember last season, I forget the girl's name, but the black girl who wanted to be an influencer, and she was with Tristan. I think that was last year. She was with Tristan, the guy who was like very insecure, like the chubbier white guy. You could tell this girl did not want to be with this man, Tristan, but at least it looked like on screen she was trying. It doesn't even look like Mel gives a damn to try. But either way, they have to stay because he said stay. She said leave. And y'all know how it goes on the show. Even if one person says stay, y'all gotta stay. Next on the couch is Gia and Scott. They are very complimentary of each other. They talk about how great their sexual chemistry is. They thank the experts for doing an amazing job. The experts are happy to see that their connection is building. So these two decide to stay happy days. Next on the couch is Beck and Danny. They talk about how things weren't so great on the honeymoon, but they were able to get back on track because of Revelations Week. The experts are happy to see it, right? As these two are, they decide to stay. As these two are going to sit down, Beck goes, not fake. And I'm like, see, here's the thing. At this point, Gia wasn't even coming for you for real. Like, she was saying things under her breath, but she wasn't coming for you. So I'm like, do you want the drama? Because these two, they keep going at it. So then Gia says in response, oh, I can't stand this girl. And this is the beginning of the women starting to turn on each other as the evening is going along. Rachel and Steven are next, and they're basically talking about how Revelations Week was able to bring them much closer together. Steven is going to act as if they are on track to be romantic. We're going to see in further episodes that wasn't really the case. It seemed like he was misrepresenting where they are in their relationship, and that's going to piss Rachel off. But for now, it sounds like things are going very well between them, and they decide to stay. Next is Steve, and Rebecca. So they're on the couch, and all of a sudden, Steve, who had all these negative things to say about Miss Rebecca, he's not mentioning a single thing. And the guys in the room are a little bit confused.
Very solid and comfortable. Yeah. It's like I had known Rebecca for a very long time.
Yeah.
This is bad.
We built a friendship very quickly during and after the honeymoon. So I think we've got nothing but progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing Steve is able to be honest about is the fact that he is not being romantic with Rebecca. He's basically a roommate at this point. And he says the reason why he's not able to lean into the romance is because he's a conservative guy. Conservative men aren't romantic. Conservative men can't kiss their wives. Conservative men can't express their feelings of desire. Be so for real. What are you talking about? This man is just making up BS. Like, thankfully, Rebecca was able to be honest, and she was like, things are not as good as he's trying to make it seem. Like, I feel undesirable. I feel like I'm just in purgatory here with him. Like, he's not being very expressive. He kind of ices me out a lot. We're glorified friends, if even that, because would friends even treat each other this way? I don't know. So yeah, she got emotional, and he's just trying to save face, but he obviously just can't stand this girl. So yeah, it's unfortunate for these two, but they do decide to stay. Maybe there'll be a turnaround. Spoiler alert, that does not happen. Chris and Brooke are next on the couch, and this man says that the reason why he speaks about women in this way is because he's in a football environment, or was in a football environment, as if being misogynistic is a prerequisite for playing football.
There was a lot of things that he said in the video that I don't agree with.
Like what?
Girls that he gets with are hot and dumb. You said your 3X or 3 red flags were fake tan, clingy girls, and fat people.
That's done some big damage. How did you handle it?
I took full responsibility. Been playing football my whole life. It sort of promotes this sort of behaviour.
Why is it inappropriate?
It's degrading.
Correct. You're looking at them as objects that you can use, throw away.
So my cousin was over while I was watching this part of the show, and she was saying, why are the experts like further trying to question this man on why he believes the things that he believes? If he said, I know that it's derogatory, I know that it's demeaning, why are we not taking him at face value of what he says? I think they're trying to give him a lifeline to be like, okay, you might know what it is on the surface, but do you know the effects that this mentality has on people and even yourself and your perception of women and stuff? But honestly, I feel like at some point you just have to accept that somebody's an ass. Like, why are we trying to rationalize his thinking and all that? This man is aware that what he's saying is unkind. He knows that. He doesn't have to be told that. So if he's saying that boldly and now telling you, I know that this is demeaning, I know that this is derogatory towards women, what are we trying to understand here? Even Brooke, why is she trying to front like she's gonna try to make it work with this man? You don't like this man. And the experts, you knew that this man was a lost cause. And furthermore, Chris went on to say that he was applying to any show out there that would take him. And the application to come on Married at First Sight was honestly just a throwaway application. And he was shocked himself that he got chosen. So why we're wasting our time with Chris, I don't know. But they both decide to stay. We see Julia and Grayson for the first time in forever, and they are stuck in the friend zone. She believes that she's trying, but he's like, no, I'm definitely pulling a lot of the weight in our relationship. She adamantly denies that, but it's quite literally true. In the next episode, we see her complain about the fact that she can't fully put, all her effort into the experiment because she's sleep deprived. Girl, bye. Anyways, they do decide to stay. Then we have Alyssa and David. They rave about their relationship. They're very complimentary of each other and of the experts as well. And there's really nothing to say about them outside of the fact that the peanut gallery now starts to chime in. They obviously don't like Alyssa. They have a problem with her voice. And I'm not going to lie to you, her voice does seem a little infomercial-y. It does seem like she's always trying to sell you a product. But it doesn't matter, okay? The girl is happy in her relationship. Leave her be, right? Then last was Stella and Philip. Now, I feel like Stella provoked the matter because she wasn't asked about other people's opinions on her relationship. Even what she was saying about the relationship didn't warrant her talking about other people chiming in. But when she shed light on the fact that people had negative things to say, the experts want to wake it up, and Brooke woke up.
Not everyone likes your happiness.
Are you suggesting that some people here find your happiness difficult to swallow?
There was questions raised, you know, as in like it wasn't authentic.
That was me. Sounds too good to be true. It wasn't like I was being like, this is fake.
So no one cares and we're not jealous.
No one's saying that we're not happy for you. So you don't sit up here and make yourself be the victim, because that's how it is.
Don't worry, I was called fake yesterday.
Too.
Alyssa, shut up, because all you do is speak with an infomercial voice. Pipe down. We're done with it.
Gia and Brooke have absolutely been sending hater energy towards Alyssa and Stella. I hope we can agree on that. Like, we are watching the same show, are we not? Like, these girls have been so negative. Even on this episode, they were saying a lot of negative things under their breath. Now, all of a sudden, they didn't do anything wrong. Sorry? Then here Brooke goes saying, oh, Stella is making things up. It's never that they were against their relationship. And it's not that they said clear as day, oh, we don't believe in your relationship or we don't support your relationship. But you cannot tell me what they were saying was support. It was very far from support. In episode 10, this is the beginning of Intimacy Week. So Alessandra hosts some workshops for the guys and the girls, starting with the girls, right? So all the ladies, well, not all, but most of the ladies are talking about how great intimacy is going so far, and Rebecca is feeling left out, which makes her get emotional. I do feel for Rebecca because Steve comes across very disingenuous. Something about him, and you know what? I should have stuck to my guns because I said at the beginning of the season, these older couples tend to be set in their ways, and Steve is a perfect example of that. The way this man is so rigid, he's not trying with Rebecca at all, and then simultaneously tries to gaslight her and makes it seem like he is trying. You're not. He has all these reasons for why she's just insufferable to be around, and so she feels like she can't be herself. She even tells the group that she doesn't want to overwhelm him, and Alessandra encourages her to just be herself, and if being yourself is not good enough for him, then fine, but you would rather be authentic than fake something and have the relationship work based on false pretenses, right? So yeah, she's going into the week not very excited, but she is going to try to work on the intimacy things. It's not gonna work out. I'm just gonna let y'all know from now it's not gonna work out, right? Then we have Julia, who opens up about being stuck in the friend zone, and she feels like what's missing is the emotional safety. This is a word that she's going to use. This is a phrase that she's going to use quite often. This emotional safety is just lacking. But she barely talks to the man. And when she does talk to the man, it's these little mundane things. Like, it's not anything to build intimacy or to build rapport. It's just like 20 questions. It's just like they're playing 20 questions. It's the weirdest thing. And then I'm like, you can't still be dying on this hill that the sleep deprivation is the reason why you're not able to show up as your full self on the show. I don't know, sweetie. Like, it sounds like you're making a lot of excuses, and the excuses are going to continue. So the women are tasked to create this fantasy that they want to experience with their men. The first is Rachel. Rachel. Her fantasy is to have something like a scene out of the movie Love Actually, and I'm so sorry. This was very depressing to me.
What things do you like about me and my personality? Caring, selfless nature that you have. I love your eyes and your laugh. Will you kiss me now? Kind of kiss that makes me feel something. I can kiss you. I'm not too sure if it's gonna make you feel something.
Times are so tough that this woman has to write down, "Kiss me, please." It's the please for please. Oh my gosh, that is crazy work. And she's like, "I just want a kiss that makes me feel like something." And he's like, I could kiss you. I could. But you're not gonna feel nothing. Hey. Like, I wouldn't even know what to do at this point. I'd be at my wit's end. So basically he's like, what I need in order to be able to kiss you so passionately is a romantic spark. Like, I need to feel like we have that fire between us. And right now I'm not feeling that, which is fair and fine. But what have you been doing to facilitate that? What have you been doing to promote the romance in your relationship? What have you been doing to spark that spark in your relationship? Nothing. You've done nothing. So then this girl just outright asks him, "Are you physically attracted to me?" Because at this point, it's giving that you're not. And he's beating around the bush. "Oh, you see, the physical attraction, there's more than just that." And she's like, "It's a yes or no question." He's like, "Well, it's not as simple as a yes or no." Ah! Okay, so you don't? Like, if you're unable to say yes or no, to me, I'm just going to take that as a no. Because if it was a yes, you would have just said yes. But anyways, she is just tired of all of this. She later is going to leave the apartment for the night, come back the next day, angrily pack all her books, bags, and belongings, and the cleaning supplies, because she said, "I need to let this man know that this house without me is not a home." Petty as it may be, it was actually very effective, but we'll touch on them later. Julia must be walking rage bait, because for her fantasy task, she was like, "I'm gonna ask him questions." And it's not even sexy questions. It's questions like, "What's your favorite memory from your football days?" And I'm trying to make it sound sexy. She didn't even sound sexy like this. "What's one takeaway from your previous relationship?" I'm like, are you serious? This is your fantasy?
At school, were you bullied? What's the most healing experience you've had in friendship? Has a stranger ever changed your life? What do you think my superpower is? Let's change the pace a little bit. What's the greatest moment you've had on the footy field?
The funniest thing about all of this is when they first cut to Julia, her little fuzzy thing made me think that she was wearing lingerie. And I was like, oh, okay. I did not know that she was actually going to embrace this, but it was just her top. It was just her top. And honestly, if she was asking these regular ass questions in lingerie, maybe that would have done something. But no. He's very confused, right? He's going to take some time to think, and then he's going to come back and question her. And he's like, "What was your reason for doing this as your fantasy?" And she's like, "Oh, well, my fantasy is getting to know somebody on a deep level." How are these questions getting to know him on a deep level? Like Julia doesn't make any sense. She doesn't make any sense. And so he just says, "Do you see a future between us?" She's beating around the bush, just like Steven, beating around all the bushes. If you can't answer, I'm going to take the answer as a no. Like, if it was a yes, it wouldn't have taken so long to get to the point. Like, this lady, she could have asked sexy questions. She could have asked the questions in a sexy way. She could have been dressed sexily while asking the questions. But no, she wants to go ahead and be a dud. And then she's shocked why they're not building any intimacy. Girl, bye. Somebody who I was surprised by was Mel. She planned a golfing date for herself and Luke, and it seemed like it went very well. Some other people who had some interesting dates were Brooke and Chris. They did a painting date in their apartment. Stella and Philip did a lingerie and paint night. Beck did something similar. She did body painting, but they were painting affirmations on each other. And it really showed Danny's vulnerability, which is good. Alyssa and Gia also did the lingerie thing. The lingerie was very effective, okay? And lastly was Rebecca. So she was planning to wear the lingerie, but was trying to respect Steve by not just coming in wearing lingerie just to see if he would be down. He's not down.
I'm hoping he'll go, "Okay, pennies dropped, now I'm getting it." Oh, a boss bitch. If you wanted me to put it on, I didn't even want to try.
You like lingerie?
It's just not for me. I do appreciate all this, I really do.
Yeah.
You're telling me you have this fine babe, yeah? Who's coming to you talking about, I want to wear this lingerie for you. I want to prance around our apartment in this lingerie to get you going. And you're not keen? Oh, you hate her. You hate her. Because what do you mean? Like, this woman is trying, and even the fact that she respected him by just not coming in the lingerie is a big thing. Like, she's understanding, okay, we might not be there yet, but I'm clearly making an effort here. Can you meet me halfway? He just doesn't want to meet her halfway. And then he goes on about all the reasons why she's, well, he doesn't say this to her, he says this like to the cameras, all the reasons why she's rude, she's overly sexual, she's very talkative, and it's very hard to just live with her. It's just thing after thing after thing of why he cannot stand the woman. Then in an off-camera conversation, he questioned her intentions for being on the show. He feels like she came with ulterior motives. You're the one who hasn't been putting in effort in your relationship. At least she's been trying. What are the ulterior motives? Tell the class. Share it with the class. Alessandra then hosts the men's workshop, and you know, most of the guys are talking about how good Intimacy Week has been. Not everybody, but most of them. And here goes both the Steves, just crapping on everything.
Could you give me a kiss? I did take the hardest option.
Men used to die in trenches and fight wars. He's too scared to even just give his missus a kiss.
Rebecca did visit a sex shop, chose to not dress up out of respect for me.
For me, that sounds like bullshit.
I'm sure there's other reasons Rebecca's here also.
Got a little judgment on why she's here. Got none of the feeling desire.
I disagree with you. I don't have an earpiece in my ear. I'm not waiting for someone to tell me what to say. Ask me a question, I'll give you a genuine answer.
Really tread lightly. I don't take to this well.
Do you guys now see why I have a problem with men on these shows named Steve or Steven? Do you see? Name me one reality TV Steven that's been great. I'll wait. I will wait. I'm telling you, there are certain things that are foolproof when it comes to these reality TV tropes, yeah? Men with dangly earrings, men in real estate, and men named Steve or Steven. Those are three types of men that I just can't trust. I'm yet to be proven wrong. I'm yet to be proven wrong. So at least Steven is able to, you know, course correct. He's gonna do better as the week goes on. But Steve, 50-year-old Steve acting like he's 82, just an immovable force at this point. Immovable force. It's not force. Immovable something. Y'all know the phrase. He's just so rigid, so static. And then he has the audacity to throw shade at Alessandra. I'm like, not too much. Not too much, okay? And Alessandra was collecting him. Like, one thing you're not gonna do is disrespect me. Not on my show. Then he goes back to Rebecca, and he picks a fight with her. He talks about all these reasons why she's basically unlovable, and then he storms out of the apartment. And don't come back. Don't come back. We don't want you. The other men were tasked with doing something, either like doing something sweet that your wife doesn't know about. And so David cleaned the apartment while wearing an apron. Steven bought flowers for Rachel. She was appreciative, but she said she needed more. Chris tried to make a spa for Brooke, but she felt like this was too romantic for like where they're at in the relationship. And in a surprising turn of events, Luke got a task to do the staring contest and the hugging thing. And it actually went very well.
We've never hugged like this.
It's good to see these two have a different expression on their face because all the sulking was getting on my nerves. I had enough. I don't know what in the multiple personality disorder was going on with Mel, but she finally has picked one, and she picked the happy personality. And it's just good to see these two get along for once. They actually look like they would be a couple that you would see in real life. Please, just try to make it work. Damn. Another couple that's doing well is Rachel and Steven. So Steven decided, you know what? I'm actually going to just embrace intimacy week, right? I messed up on the first task. Let me do better on the second task, right? So they were given the task to make out for 3 minutes. And although he was hesitant, he did it.
If this is something you're willing to try, I will follow your lead on this.
Just give me a kiss, damn it. How was it?
It was good.
So what was your problem the first time? All this girl asked for the first time was a kiss that made her feel something. You could have kissed her for all of 10 seconds. And it didn't even really have to be a makeout. It could have just been like a tight embrace and like a long lip press. Like that is better than a peck, which is what she's asking for. Now you're going to kiss her for 3 minutes? And you see the benefits of having kissed her like in a nice way instead of just a peck? Like Steven was out here just being difficult for no reason. If it's a matter of not liking the girl, just say that you don't like her. But if you do like her, please try, okay? Speaking of trying, Beck is trying to get on all of our last nerves. This girl just up and left the experiment. She has packed all her things and she left without a trace. Now, the show is not telling us what the reason is, but the streets have said that homegirl was seeing an ex-boyfriend of hers like right before filming, and then while she was filming, she was pregnant. Yeah. So apparently the Daily Mail has been like chasing her down and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, is it that serious? But yeah, the girl was pregnant. Interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen that first season of The Ultimatum when there was that girl who was pregnant and she like smushed the guy's face and stuff. That girl is making it sound like her heightened emotions, her heightened negative, mind you, emotions were because she was pregnant. I wouldn't be surprised if Brooke was going to come and say the same thing. And I'm sorry, it's not that I don't fully believe that, but I've been around so many pregnant women and I don't see that kind of behavior. So it's hard for me to believe. But yeah, maybe her emotional outbursts was it even emotional outbursts? She was just rude and mean. I'm not going to blame the baby. I'm not putting that on the baby. But anyways, we'll see what happens with the fallout of this relationship. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.